the most famous character from Sony and their live-action arrangements, Spider-Man has had a few iterations so far, but there is one version of the character that needs to be finished the way the fans and Andrew Garfield desires. Yet another The Amazing Spider movie, a third to conclude the trilogy in mind, which should show just how much the character is worth and just how big of an impact he can have in the confused Sony universe that they're building right now. Ever since the Tom Holland standalone movie released, Spider-Man No Way Home, which saw Andrew Garfield's return to his version of Spider-Man, fans have adapted only one thing: their desire for yet another The Amazing Spider-Man movie, with the appearance of both Andrew and Tobey Maguire in their versions of Spidey. The outcry from the fans started to grow bigger and bigger, with many fans wanting Garfield to get what was taken from him, The Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie. And while many fans were excited to see Tobey Spider-Man in action, as well as Holland Spider-Man, out of all three, it looks like the one character that got a lot of attention was Garfield's version of the character, which makes sense as he is the only one of the three that did not get his trilogy. The second movie's poor critical and commercial reception eventually led to the cancellation of the now rumored third movie and the Webb universe plans altogether, despite both of Garfield's movies being fairly mixed in the reception side of things. His portrayal of the role was probably the main aspect of the franchise, with his performance being a constant strength of those movies. Garfield's latest appearance in the role also fulfilled the desire of many fans, as their dream to see all three Spider-Men came true, which was just enough for the fans to start hyping up the third movie from Garfield, with the supposed trilogy to finally get the finishing third movie. So with all of this being said and done, I personally think it is worth exploring to know whether the movie will happen, and if it does, what are the potential things the movie itself could bring to the table, particularly in the Sony shared universe. One of the main things the third movie would bring is the finished story anyone wants right now, especially after the second movie's end, with a somewhat of a cliffhanger. Henry Osborn apparently gearing up to form the Sinister Six and take down Spider-Man. Then there is the Gwen Stacy factor, something the third movie will surely dive into, with us seeing how Peter will cope with things after her death and just how big of an effect it had after everything was finished. There was one line in Spider-Man No Way Home that also left fans wondering what it was all about. He said that he became vengeful and stopped pulling punches. Hence, the third movie could possibly be set in two distinct periods. One when Peter's vengeful state will be shown, and one after his journey in the MCU. A moment where he got closer for Gwen's death after he saved MJ the way he should have saved Gwen. Andrew Garfield himself has shared his willingness to return to the role, adding that he is open to a potential upcoming movie regarding his version of Spidey. Garfield hinted at just how much he cares for the character, and he knows about the character well. He expressed his desires, which could also hint at a clash with Venom. Who knows? We will have to wait and see if the movie is even confirmed. As for Sony, the studios have not shown any indication about their idea for a potential third movie. However, seeing how the film industry in recent years started to respond to the request of the audiences, the only thing we can hope for right now is that Sony as well will hit that like button just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, in reality, we can only hope that Sony will listen to the fans and be aware of their demands, which does not seem to be the case right now, as the studio has been really quiet about this topic. But anything can happen. There is still some time before the whole idea gets disbanded. So, with all said and done, will The Amazing Spider-Man 3 happen? Well, the answer to this question would be a hard one, with the studio being the only thing that would get the entire thing moving. Obviously, one interesting detail that caught my eye was Daniel Espinosa's statement, the director of the Morbius movie, who said that seeing the number of villains in the Sony universe, there will be a Spider-Man, one that will be there to deal with things. And not only that, but also that a Spider-Man already is in the universe, one that will be revealed in the recent future. Thus, keep an eye out for any news coming your way regarding the topic, as the Spider-Man in question could potentially be Andrew Garfield's version of the character. Both Venom and Morbius and their movies raised a lot of questions about the status of their universe, with the latter causing even more problems than before. Morbius exists in the same universe as Venom, meaning that the events of the movie do not take place in the MCU, which eventually means that the universe does not have a Spider-Man in it. And while Sony could just continue to make movies where the villains are portrayed as anti-heroes, it turns out that a far more bizarre path is being taken. The entire thing created a lot of plot holes. For instance, the pull of the character from the MCU to the Sony universe creates an unknown motivation, one that is not there for Vulture to form a Sinister Six team in the first place. So his actions really only serve to set up a future movie, which does not make sense, since the movie might not even happen. And if the potential villain movie happens, it would have to be one that will have the arachnid arch-enemy, the group that was created to take down. One of the other reasons why Spider-Man would be perfect for Sony's universe in the form of Garfield's version of the character. And don't forget to smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You would need to be there to connect the dots, because the movies so far do not connect in any meaningful way. Morbius does make a reference to Venom, but past that, nothing at all. And seeing how the Venom movie takes place in San Francisco and Morbius takes place in New York City, there is practically nothing to connect the two. Something that I think will continue to be a trend at Sony, with the two already confirmed movies, Kraven the Hunter and Marc Webb, with both of those movies probably having no connection with the others whatsoever. Thus, when everything is taken into consideration, the two things, a third Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie and the necessity of a Spider-Man character in today's Sony universe, could be the main reasons why Garfield could get his wish, and the fans' desires fulfilled by the studio. And not only that, but also a conclusion to the trilogy, one that will finish all the unfinished business Garfield's version of the character has right now, as well as his state after the second movie, and before his latest appearance in the third MCU Spider-Man movie. A period that will be an interesting thing to see played out on the big screen, which could then see just how crucial the character is for Sony and the universe that they're creating right now, as well as the changes the character will bring to the table just by being present. And they're taking part in all the action, especially if the idea of a Sinister Six movie is getting closer and closer to becoming a reality. See you in the next video.